Yes, people. It's Jacob on the one up top. Before I start this video, do as you normally do. Please like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, all of that. I appreciate everybody putting energy into this, even if it's viewing it for 2 minutes. I've come a long way from having 2 or 3 subscribers, put it that way. I'm trying to build it as big as possible, so love and respect. And yeah, welcome to another episode of Only Fools in Tottenham. Don't mind my hair and my face. I'm looking a bit rough at the minute, but I've just been focusing on work and going gym. So it's got to the point where I've been cheating on my barber just by not turning up. So yeah, I'm just going to get my opinions on stuff. Normally when I do these Only Fools and Horses, or Only Fools in Tottenham, sorry, they're based around Tottenham being foolish. And I'm fine. I'm going to find a bit of balance, because don't get it twisted. It's not all love and glory. There's some balance that needs to be found within the Tottenham fan base, which I feel that I'm going to speak up on. But first and foremost, I'm going to talk about the obvious, which is the result of the weekend, where Spurs were victorious against Man United. If I want to talk about the performance, everybody that listens to this knows that I'm a realist. First 20 minutes, I was sat there in the pub with the kids and generally thought to myself, this is just going to be one of those days where Tottenham can't get out their half because Ange Ball's been snuffed out after game 2. Man United are going to take their chances or get a dodgy penalty, and then once they take the lead, we're not going to know what to do. If I'm honest, we rid our luck. On another day, Bruno Fernandes takes his chance. Rashford takes his chance. Chances, for Rashford. And it's a no-brainer. We end up losing the game. But, in football, you earn your own luck. I felt that if Man United ain't going to take these chances, then the game's going to turn up on his head. Watching Man United against Wolves, they didn't really turn up. Man United of the second half of last season wouldn't play good football for a whole of 90 minutes. So once we got into 20 minutes and started creating chances of our own, I thought, well, if we take our chance first, we win the game. And, fortunately for us in the second half, we took the lead through Papa Sarr, who had a very good game considering he's still young. And I was, can't lie, I was happy with the result. But what I wanted to speak on was that Tottenham fans are very much working into Daniel Levy's hands. Now, the reason why I say that is because when you look at how we played, not only against Man United, against Brentford, it was good football. I can't complain and sit there and say it was bad, because it wasn't. However, what Tottenham fans are not realising in the general, and this is, my general view on it, is that for the last 4 years, this club has lost its identity. It's like we have always been known as a team that we're not a winning club. We're not somebody that's going to go and win trophies and get a divine right to win them, because we just haven't been doing that over the course of, say, 100 years. But what everybody does know about Tottenham is if you went to White Hart Lane in the past and the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium now, you get good football. But that's just been literally sucked out by us, because we've kind of destroyed our identity to try and be successful by winning trophies, and it still didn't work. So I remember when we sacked Conte, Stellini, Ryan Mason, I remember saying all we've got to do is bring in a coach that's of any attacking ilk, and Tottenham fans will be gassed. And that's exactly what's happening now. I see a post on Twitter earlier saying that Ange Ball is in full swing because Tottenham released their next 3 home games, and it was all sold out within 30 seconds or 30 minutes or something like that. And they're talking about the Ange effect. But these are the same these are the same fans that 3 months ago were complaining about the ticket prices going up and the fact that Daniel Levy is taking money out of the club. So what is it that you want? Because if Daniel Levy is taking money out of the club and it's doing your head in, why are you glorifying the fact that the tickets were sold out that quick? It doesn't make sense to me. Like, if that's a problem to you, then don't comment on the tickets being sold. Just understand that Ange Ball is here because it's nice football. Now, I said it on one of my videos before. Alan Pardew could have come in and made us look a lot better playing football because we were that bad. It was so negative that we made Stoke of the Tony Pulis era look like a prime footballing side. You know, they probably used to press more than we did. So for me, what I want to do is find a bit of balance. You know, I was happy with the Brentford away. I was very happy with the United result because, you know, I generally thought it was going to go either way. And effectively, we beat Man United and drew with Brentford away with 10 men because Richarlison just ain't a player. But I just think there needs to be some balance because when I'm looking on social media, I talk to a few of my friends that are Spurs fans. You get the gist, like Ange just solved the problem in 2 games. Now, I'll give him his flowers. For him to make us play the way we have in the space of the last 2 months or something is good to see. Considering Ten Hag hasn't given Man United an identity, it's good to see that. However, what I used to say to people is the players that Conte had, that's the way you were supposed to play football with them. You know, Davinson Sanchez, your Romeros, Dyers. I'm not saying they're top players, but if you spoke to them and said to them, would you prefer to press and try and win the ball up the pitch or sit off and soak up the pressure? I'm very confident 70 to 80% of the squad would rather us push up. Why? Because they played in teams with Tottenham and prior to Tottenham, which did that. The modern game of football encourages that. You go to Germany, you go to Spain, you know, even Italy now, they're introducing it because you look at Napoli, they won the league at a canter. Why? Because that's the way they play football. You know, Bayern Munich have been doing that for years. Dortmund nearly pipped them to that. They've been doing that for, you know, since Klopp's been there. The Premier League has always been a league which is all high intensity and energy, you know, and you'll get your West Broms, your Stokes, your Burnley that will do what Tottenham did to survive, but we were trying to do that to win. So, like I say, I think it was very easy. You know, if we brought in Brendan Rodgers, if we brought in Pochettino to come back, I generally think we would have got this football back again because we had players that would prefer to play the modern way of football. You brought in your Maddisons and your Van der Vens that are of that ilk. I think it's been a lot easier for Ange to do that because the players they're already made. You know, if Ange started playing that type of football that we're playing now, and let's say it got to the point where you had Tony Pulis' squad for Stoke, then I'd be like, Ange Ball is in full swing, because for you to get that football out of those players is like getting water out of a stone. It just don't happen. But we had players that were kind of ready-made to do that. One thing that I will note is that if Ange Ball is in full effect, it's not about the tickets. It's not about how much money we're making. It's what I'm seeing on the pitch. And this is what a lot of Tottenham fans are failing to see. Ange Ball is looking good, but it'll be tested. You know, I look at the squad and people say to me, you know, Ange Ball, this. And I'm always commenting on people saying, but what about the squad? Now, the reason why I say that is if you look at the starting 11 that we had against United, people will say we need to give Richarlison a few more chances to score goals because he didn't play last season. Fine. Let's give Richarlison his chance. Let's give Son their chance, Kulusevski. So that starting lineup, fine. Now, imagine if James Maddison gets injured and he's out for 3 months. Tottenham fans will have a meltdown, but Ange Ball's in full swing though. So all it takes is for James Maddison to get injured. We haven't got a number 10. If he gets to the point where Basuma gets injured, we're back to Højbjerg and Skip. Romero came off against Brentford. All of a sudden, Davinson Sanchez, and we're all panicking. Edozie comes off, who for me has been a brilliant signing. He comes off, it's Ben Davies. Pedro Porro had a good game against Man United. He comes off. Emerson Royal. Are we in a good place to push forward? Ange will improve these players, no doubt, but I don't think we go as far as saying that Ange is going to take us to the dizzy heights that we need to be at. It needs to be backed. You look at Harry Kane went for 100 million. I don't see many Tottenham fans talking about what's happening with that money. I know a few guys that went to a protest, but it's like, this is what I mean about our Tottenham being only foolish and Tottenham. Because it's like, Harry Kane has just been sold for 100 million. We've got a week till the transfer window ends, and I'm not seeing that demand for a striker. I'm seeing more like Richarlison, give him a chance, or stick Son up front. Why don't we go and get Gift Orban? This guy is going to be, someone's going to buy him for 60 million soon, and he's just going to set the world alight, and we're going to be talking about him. Oh, we should have got him. Why are you not getting him? If he's a young prospect that everyone in Europe goes and gets, let's go and get him. If you're not going to go for the youngsters, we've got 100 million there. Go and knock on someone's door and say, right, we'll do this. I'm looking at someone like Ollie Watkins. He's not the world's best striker, but he's a very good Premier League striker. Go and knock on Aston Villa's door and say, right, yeah, 70, 80 million. People think, well, that's crazy. But we need a striker that's going to bang goals, because Richarlison, we've got 4 points out of 6 with 10 men, if I'm honest, because it just feels like he ain't doing anything. Richarlison undoubtedly is a better player than me, but I generally feel that if I got rang by Daniel Levy tomorrow and said, right, we ain't got another striker, you need to go up front, my first touch might be terrible. My shooting might be way off target. But the effort that I put into the game to try and get into position and just run around for the sake of the club, I generally think if Richarlison played like that every week, and I played the way I know I play football every week, the Tottenham fans would be like, give Jacob a chance, which is crazy. Why? Because he's not doing the fundamentals. He's not closing. He's not pressing. And then when he sulks, when he comes off, I've seen a picture of him outside the visitors' lounge in the Tottenham box, and he's just there in his shorts, sulking in front of everybody to obviously get clicks on social media. It's like, well, I don't really care if you're sulking. You just ain't good enough. You know what I mean? Work on your game. Don't just sit there and want... Tottenham fans ain't going to feel sorry for you. Just get to the point where you just surplus the requirements. I go as far as saying give Dane Scarlett a go. Why is... he had a good pre-season. He done all right at Portsmouth. Give him a go, because I feel he could have a Rashford moment. No one really know about Marcus Rashford. Van Gaal gave him 2 games. He scored against Arsenal in the Europa League. The rest is history. Now he's on 300 bags a week. Why? Because he was given his chance and he took it. Let's give one to Dane Scarlett, because I've had enough of this. He gets protected by the fact he's Brazil's number 9. So what? I still think Gabriel Jesus is a better player, even though he's not the striker at the club, for the country, sorry. So, I just wanted to do a video to establish that I'm content with how Tottenham are doing. For me, I set my standards very high. Tottenham, what we're doing against Man United and Brentford, we should be doing anyway. Why are we acting as if like we've never been able to play football like this? You know what I mean? It's only because we've been bereft of good football for the last 4 years why everybody's jumping around. Now, if it gets to the point where we're 16 games in, we're 3rd in the league, 4 or 5 points off Man City, sandwiched by an Arsenal or Liverpool, Man United, and we're in a January transfer window and we bring in a couple of players, then I'll start talking to you. But I need to see action, because I've seen enough action for the last 4 years, for the last 20 years, from the chairman, the owners, managers, players, that suggest that, one, I'm not going to set my expectations, because I don't know, there's no plan around this club, Daniel Levy hasn't exactly told us where he expects the club to finish. An appointment like Ange doesn't tell me where we expect to finish, and the appointments that we buy just comes across like we're just going to see how it goes. There's no plan. What's the plan? Just to go and get some young players and see how it goes. That's how it goes with Tottenham. So I'm just going to do the same thing. If we finish 8th, that's where I expect us to finish. If we finish 4th, good season, win the league, I'll go missing. Well, I'm not going to set my expectations, which I think will relieve the stress from myself. And I push for Spurs fans to do the same thing. Don't set any expectations. Just, if the football's going to be as good as we've been watching it for the last 2 games, enjoy the ride. And that's as far as it goes, really. We look forward to Bournemouth at the weekend. I feel that if we can keep the possession like we did against Brentford and Man United, not just against Bournemouth, but against any club in the Premier League, you're going to win a lot more games, especially if you're trying to attack, and score goals. I would like to see the starting lineup remain. Probably want to take Richarlison out and give Solomon a go. Put Son through the middle because Richarlison's just stinking out of place, if I'm honest. I just think the midfield pairing that we've got, we need to stay the same. Back four looks like it's building a relationship slowly along with the goalkeeper. But Bournemouth will be a tricky game. I watched the first sort of 10 minutes on the Liverpool-Bournemouth game at the weekend before I lost the stream. Bournemouth caught Liverpool off guard, if I'm honest. Kept Anfield quiet for 10 minutes and they got their goal. But, if they maintain that standard throughout 90 minutes, they'll give any team a problem. But I generally think that we can get a result there. We've got quite good results at Bournemouth over the years. My prediction for that game will be a Spursy 2-1. I think Maddison will score his first goal in that game. Bournemouth will probably score first, it'll be like a Solanke within the first 30 seconds. But I think we can win that game. It's an early kickoff, so I'm not going to throw too much confidence towards it. But I feel that those are the sort of games that if you're going to be competing at the top end of the league, you don't disrespect Bournemouth because you've got to respect every opponent in every walk of life in the Premier League. But I just think at the same time, you've got to show a bit of disrespect and kind of say, we're Tottenham and we're going to beat you. That's the only time I've ever felt that energy was under Pochettino. We'd turn up at the Etihad, we'd turn up at the Emirates, we'd turn up at Old Trafford, Anfield. And we might not have won the games, but it was pretty clear that we weren't scared of any of those teams. And that's where I want Tottenham to be, because if you're in that position as a team, as a club, it's half the job done. Man City, are they scared of anybody? No, that's why they win trebles. Arsenal are getting back to the place that they should be, because over the years they've been a big club. Are they turning up to anybody and are they scared? No. Liverpool is still in the transition period, but they're still not scared. And, Man United, even though they looked very lacklustre over the last 2 games, I'm sure they'll figure out something. So we need to set our stall out and win games that are winnable, and the ones that are difficult get a result out of, because, the teams have in the past, when they've won leagues and trophies, they've had difficult games and come out at the end positive. So, I just feel I had to do a short video. Not to say that Tottenham fans are foolish in general, because everybody's entitled to opinion. People could be watching this video and thinking I'm chatting a load of rubbish, but 1, I don't care, and 2, that's what football's there to discuss on. It's not about everyone being right, it's about everyone having their opinion. I just generally feel that everybody needs to take it down a notch, enjoy the moments. And, if we go into the next game against Bournemouth, and we go into the few games after that, and we're sat there in October, November, top 3, top 4, not far off the summit, got a new striker in, defence looking solid, midfielders doing their job, then we can talk. But, 2 games in, I think the case of everyone being excited because we thought the worst going to the Brentford Stadium away, and the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium at home, thinking, 2 draws would be a good result. For the fact that we come out of there with 4 points and realistically should have got 6 is, I think, the reason why everybody's got excited. We've just been we've been starved of excitement, so that's where it's at. So, that's what I'm going to speak on. I'll be doing a preview on the Bournemouth game on my way home from the gym on Saturday morning. So it'll be a before, middle and after on that. And like I say, keep looking out for my channel next week or the week after. It just depends on my week schedule with my children. I'm going to be getting some guests on. So, you know, if you're any people that have been on my channel already, look out on your WhatsApp, because I'm going to be putting some stuff together. We're going to be streaming and having some good discussions. I also want to reach out and start putting my stuff on Spotify so people can listen to it without the visuals. So yeah, continue showing your support. You know, anybody that watches my videos, whether you watch them for 30 seconds, 40 seconds, or its entirety, I appreciate and love you all. And yeah, let's just keep it moving, man. I want to get to the point where, you know, in the ideal world, I want to do it for a living, but everybody that knows me knows first and foremost, I love to talk, but one thing I love to talk about more than anything is football. So as long as I can get my opinion out there and people comment, like, share, subscribe, and do all that, I'm a content man. So I hope you all have a blessed midweek leading into the weekend. And yeah, I'll see you guys on Saturday. Love, Jacob on the one up top.